70 years. A childhood, a marriage, a kingdom, wars, an entire human life. Grandchildren, grey hair, grief, all of it. And it just happened in 8 days. Now, before you think this is a metaphor or a mythology, I want you to hold that image, because by the end of this video, you're going to see that modern physics, neuroscience, and the most radical philosophical texts ever written in human history are all pointing at the same exact thing. And it changes how you see everything. Time, death, reality, and the story that you think you're living inside.
The text I'm talking about is called the Yoga Vasistha. It's a Sanskrit philosophical epic, thousands of verses, and scholars place it somewhere between the 6th and 14th centuries CE. But the ideas inside it feel like they were written last Tuesday in a conversation between a quantum physicist and a Jungian psychologist at 2 a.m.
At its core, Yoga Vasistha asks one question that no one has ever asked before. What is reality and who is experiencing it?
Today, we're going inside one of its most mind-bending stories. The story of Queen Leela, a woman who fell through the layers of reality itself and came back knowing something most of us spend our entire lives never realizing.
The story begins with grief. Queen Leela's husband, King Padma, has died. His body sits in the palace. She sits beside him, and instead of mourning, she simply prays.
Not for his return. She prays to Goddess Saraswati, the goddess of wisdom, the deity of knowledge, language, and consciousness, and she asks for something almost impossible. Let me find him. Wherever he is, let me reach him. Hearing her plea, the goddess of wisdom and knowledge appears before her. Saraswati doesn't offer comfort. She offers something far more disorienting, a shift in perception. She introduces Leela to a concept called Chidakasha. In Sanskrit, Chit means pure consciousness, and Akasha means space or sky. So Chidakasha literally means the space of consciousness, the infinite field in which all experience, all worlds, all of time arises.
Think of it this way. You know when you dream, an entire world appears. Cities, peoples, emotions, even time passing. But all of it is happening inside your mind. Chidakasha is that, but taken to its ultimate conclusion. Not just your dreams, but all of experienced reality. And this is where the story gets genuinely strange.
Guided by Saraswati, Leela's awareness shifts into another layer of this field, and she finds her husband. He's alive, but he isn't King Padma anymore. He is King Viduratha, a powerful ruler of a different kingdom. In what appears to be a completely different era, he's fought wars, built a dynasty, grown old. Leela watches him live an entire lifetime. And then she turns to Saraswati and says, "He died 8 days ago. How has he lived 70 years?" Saraswati answers her, and the text gives us this verse. Yathasvapne muhurtena samvatsarasatam vidu tata mrstari muhurtena kalpam pasyati durmate.
It means, just as in a dream, a single moment may be experienced as 100 years, so in the transition of death, the mind perceives vast stretches of time.
8 days and 70 years are not two different clocks running at different speeds. They are two different scales of experience, both unfolding inside the same field of consciousness. Time, in this philosophy, is called Kaalana, and it is not a fixed container that the universe lives inside. It is something that consciousness itself generates as it moves through experience, like a dream where you can live a decade in 6 minutes of sleep.
Now, here is where it gets inception level layered, and where I want to draw a line between the philosophical and the scientific, because this part matters. Leela asked Saraswati one more question, a deeper one. Where did this entire world come from in the first place? How did Vedantha's kingdom even exist at all?
And Saraswati takes her back even further. In a vision, Leela sees a poor Brahmin couple living in a small hut. And one day, the woman watches a king ride past in a golden chariot. She watches the silk, the jewels, the palace walls in the distance. And she thinks with deep, aching longing, if only I could live like that, if only I could be a queen. In Sanskrit philosophy, a deeply focused intention is called Sankalpa. And the Yoga Vasistha teaches that a Sankalpa of sufficient depth and intensity becomes the seed of experience. It shapes what arises within consciousness. That woman's longing, her Sankalpa, became Queen Leela's life. And Leela's grief became the doorway to Vedantha's world.
The reality in this framework is described as chitmatra, mind stuff, not illusion, not fake, but phenomena appearing within awareness, like the way images appear in a dream. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Janvi, this is ancient mythology, this is philosophy. What does it even have to do with anything at all? Fair, let's go over there.
In quantum physics, there is something called the observer effect. When scientists measure subatomic particles, the very act of measurement influences the system being observed. The particle doesn't behave the same way when it's being watched as when it isn't.
This does not mean that human consciousness creates physical matter. That would be a misreading. What it does mean is that at the deepest level of physical reality, the boundary between the observer and the observed is far less clean than we assumed.
This has sparked serious philosophical debate in physics communities for decades. There's also the holographic principle, a concept emerging from black hole thermodynamics developed by physicists Jacob Bekenstein and Stephen Hawking, and later expanded by Leonard Susskind and Gerard Hooft. It proposes that all the information describing a 3D region of space could be encoded on a 2D boundary surface, like a hologram.
What that implies, carefully without overclaiming, is that reality may be more fundamentally about information than about matter.
In Advaita philosophy, the Sanskrit word for this quality of reality is mithya. It doesn't mean false, it means real as an experience, but dependent on something deeper for its existence. Like the images on a cinema screen, when the film is playing, those characters feel completely real. Their joy and suffering affect you, but none of it exists without the light passing through the projector behind you. The Indian philosophical term for this perspective is Drishti Srishtivada, the view that the world arises together with the act of perceiving it.
And here's what stops me every time I think about these. These two traditions, one ancient Sanskrit philosophy, one 20th century theoretical physics, arrived at structurally similar questions, from completely different directions. That's not a coincidence. That is a signal worth paying attention to.
As Leela moves through these layers, her palace, Vedantha's kingdom, the Brahmin woman's hut, something begins to shift inside her. She starts to realize something that isn't easy to put into words, but I'm going to try. She realizes that she is not inside these stories. The stories are inside her.
In Yoga Vasistha, the awakening is called Atma Jnana, the direct recognition of one's true nature as pure, witnessing awareness, not a belief, not a concept. A shift is how you experience yourself. This isn't really magical thinking. It's closer to what psychology describes as cognitive framing.
The Yoga Vasistha is asking, what is the deepest Sankalpa running in the background of your life right now? Is it a story of lack, of not enough time, not enough worth, not enough anything? Or is it something wider?
If this video shifted something in you, even slightly, I want to know about it. And if you have Sankalpa, a deep intention that you're carrying into the season of your life, share it below. Let's make this comment section something worth reading. If you want to go deeper, the next video is already waiting for you. We're going to another story from Yoga Vasistha that is somehow even more mind-bending than this one. It involves a man who discovers that he's been dead for years without even knowing it. I'm Janvi, and this is Audiotale, where ancient wisdom meets modern thoughts to remind you of what you already know. Until next time, keep observing, keep questioning, and remember, the dreamer is always one moment of stillness away from remembering that they were never the dream.